Hello, my name's Duncan and welcome to Bath Books and Back Away from the Donkey. And today's Tag Tuesday, so we're going to do a tag. I've got a load of tags backlogs where people have tagged me over the sort of Christmas period where I wasn't doing much, where I was having a bit of a break. So I've got quite a few of them sort of backlogs, so I'm going to hopefully start working through them in the next few weeks. This one I was tagged by Gavin at Genre Books, and it is unknown where this tag comes from. Which is cool. I'll get my piece of paper that I've got it on. The Bookaholics Anonymous Tag. I've seen a lot of people do this, and I had a look at this one to do it, and I realised a lot of it's about new books. As I don't do many new books, I thought I'd do some questions about used books, in sort of as like a companion piece. So let's call this the Bookaholics Anonymous Tag, the used book edition. So nobody, I said, as far as I can work out, nobody knows who started with this one. So let's start with the first questions, with the first prompt. What do you like about buying new books? Well, I said I don't buy many new books. And so it's quite a difficult one to answer. But what do I like about buying used books, if I go on to the used books version, is I like some of the history and also what you can discover. Let's give you some examples. And you see little notes of their history. This book here, Harlan Ellison, Web of the City. I brought this in the mid-80s in a second-hand bookshop in Frome in Somerset. Okay, and this has what I believe to be Harlan Ellison's signature. And I've done a wee bit of research, and as far as I can say, that looks genuinely like his signature. So I'm pretty sure it's genuine. If it's not, I don't really care because I think it is. But what you can see about this is that at some point somebody managed to get a signature for him. And this book, I think is it an American edition? Yes, it's 8th fiction, so it is actually an American edition of the book. Because if this was a UK edition at the time, it would have had the price on the back. So I'm really quite excited about that. And I'll give you another one. This book here, this is called Science Fiction, 10 Explorations. This book, Sean Stanfast kindly sent me. And what I like about this is he's got a price in there, £25, which I don't believe at all. I do not believe that at all. I like the fact it's the George Washington Library it was originally from. So he obviously picked this up in the UK because it's got a pound price on it. So I'm assuming it came over here somehow. But it's like, how did this get here? Where did it come from? And that's some more of my treasured ones from Sean kindly sent me. And this one I picked up. Can't remember where I picked this up. It's Hell's Cartographers, Harry Harrison, Brian Aldiss, and a few others. If you've not seen it, it's well worth a read. It's really good. And we got the stamp in here. This was in the library of Chester College, which I know nothing about. And it's got a date in it, I think, 1998. Also, thing is, these bits here, I found out in ex-library books don't a lot of time removed. I normally avoid ex-library books just because of the condition of them, normally worse, but those are quite interesting. So yes, that's one of the things I love about used books is finding out some of the history of where they've come from. Obviously I like ones in great condition as well. So question 2 of this Bookaholics Anonymous Tag, the used edition. How often do you buy new books? And is it bookstore or online shopping? How often do I buy new ones? Probably one a year, if anything. I don't buy many new ones at all. Last year I bought one that I know of. For actual sort of fiction books for reading, I might buy more reference ones, but really don't buy many new books at all. Basically, a lot of the thing is I'm not a big fan of modern science fiction. And obviously that's my main thing, and I just don't think that it's got to take a lot to keep me going. Like last year I managed to get hold of a load of second-hand copies of stuff, but yeah, used books, I'm more likely to buy used books. So the same question is, How often do I buy used books? Probably at least once a month I'd pick one up from somewhere. Not a huge book buyer because I've got lots of stuff here, but it all depends. Online or real bookshop. I love a real bookshop, but the problem is where I live we have nothing. Got a charity shop that I go to, and we've got one bookshop which is linked to our local newspaper, and that's it. And as I live on an island, unless I want to go and swim across the Penton Firth and drive down to Inverness, no other bookshops. So I'm sort of limited to online, mainly. As I said, to do pick the odd thing up locally. But I do prefer a good bookshop. So if you want me to do my favourite bookshops, these would be bookshops from long ago that probably don't even exist anymore. My favourite all-time bookshop, there used to be a bookshop in Bath, in Somerset, and called Bilbo's. That was this building, it was this narrow building. How they got away with the name Bilbo's, I don't know. And it used to be over 3 floors. It was just a maze of a place of lots and lots of books. And I used to like the Waterstones in Bath as well. But one of my favourite ones used to be, for a new bookshop, was a place called Hammocks in Southampton, which probably disappeared about the mid-90s. But yeah, there's a few raves in the grave. So, do I have a favourite bookshop? Oh, I've just basically answered that one, haven't I? But if I'm buying online, I will do a mixture of books, might do eBay, second-hand books. It all depends. There's a couple of sellers on all books I find pretty reliable in their descriptions that I would return to, and it all depends really. I quite like for graphic novelty type stuff. I may have a look at Forbidden Planet, but it all depends what I'm looking for really. Next question: do I pre-order books, and do I have a monthly book buying limit? Rarely do I pre-order a book. What was the last book I pre-ordered? It's probably a Raymond Feist one of his last release. It's his last release I pre-ordered, and even though I've still not read it. There is a book coming out by Charles Stross in about 2 years' time, I think, that I may pre-order. It is very, very rare that I would pre-order a book. As I said, I don't really buy many new books at all. Do I have a monthly buying budget? Not really, but I don't spend huge amounts. It depends, really. This year, might be buying a lot less because I've got a few projects going on that I will need those funds for, because I'm going to build myself a new home computer server and a couple of bits like that. So it all depends, really. It's very variable, but I don't have a set amount. It's how much money we have financially and what I can do. Okay, book buying bans. Are they something for you or not? So, yes, the famous book buying bans. I tried once Criminali's, what's it called now? My brain's gone. Read What You Own, that's it. And I found it very, very difficult because I don't buy that much anyway, but then I'd have this urge to buy the odd one, and I think for me it's some of the pleasure of reading is also collecting, because I'm a collector as well as a reader. That's why I have numerous versions of Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. So I find it to have and also if you put restrictions on me, I'm more likely to try and burst, if that makes sense. So if I'm told I can't do something, I'm more likely to want to do it. So I think for some people they can be really, really helpful, but for me, when I've dipped my toes into Read What You Own a couple of times, I've just not done it, and it's actually purged enjoyment. And this is a hobby for me, and it's purged the enjoyment of something that I really love to do, which isn't buying books, it's reading books. But when you're thinking, what I've done before is sometimes I've researched something and I found an author that I didn't know, somebody who'd done something, and so I've gone off and found a copy of such and such a book, and because that's part of my way I process and the way I work out videos and the way I find interesting things, if I'm unable to do that for so many months because I've got to read 100 books, it's sort of reduces the enjoyment of the whole of my hobby, which I said it's booktube, it's reading, and it's the whole thing. So yeah, hope that makes some sort of sense. Sorry, there's a little beepy noise going on outside because of new vehicles. Really, hello Gizmo. My little Gizmo's on the floor there, looking a bit confused for himself. Next one is, how big is your wish list? I don't think I've really got one. I've got a sort of list in my brain of certain things that I want to do, and I may have written down if there's series I was trying to keep an eye on, but I don't have a specific sort of wish list of stuff that I really must have. And obviously there's books that I know that I really want, or there's editions that I really want, but I don't specifically have a wish list. How big is your list? Yes, I don't really have a list. I have got ideas in my brain of stuff that I'm interested in, and I occasionally note down things if I'm after certain books from a series, but I don't have a specific wish list. There's certain editions of certain books I keep an eye out for, but no, because if I wrote down a lot, I probably would take much notice of it in reality. So next one. Okay, next question is final question is, which 3 books from your wish list would you like to own now? Well, as I don't really have a wish list, it's quite difficult to say. I've got books I've been after for years, is a version of Lord of the Rings, paperback version of Lord of the Rings from 1977-78, which the cover is the image of the riders, the Black Riders from Ralph Bakshi's Lord of the Rings film. And I've seen odd versions of it around, normally in really bad condition. It doesn't have to be perfect, just an okay, but it needs to be really bad, or I've seen it a bit pricey. But I'm hopefully one day get hold of it. And anything else? Oh yes, the other ones I've been trying to get slowly build up is, I had originally a load of the Unwin paperback versions of the things like the Book of Lost Tales, Lord of the Rings things, and I think there's about 10 or 11 books when you go through all the laser barrel ad and stuff like this. And I've got about unfinished tales and other books in that series. I can't remember them off the top of my head. So I've been slowly picking those up. So if I could get another sort of 3 of those to almost complete the collection. There's certain editions I want, the Unwin ones with a certain covers on them, which is just me being really pedantic. But that's probably about it, really. There's nothing sort of leaps out that I'd love. There's probably stuff I'd stumble across and think, wow, I really want that. But it's just enjoy what you enjoy. So yes, so that is my sort of slightly adapted, what was it really called? Bookaholics Anonymous tags with the used book edition sort of bolted to the back of it. So yeah, so that's my first tag of the new year, and I've got some more videos coming out this year, and this week. So I will speak to you all very soon, and bye for now.